Just 5 more days. Hey guys, welcome to the Bears Den. My name is codename BIGBEAR Stuart, if you want to call me by my first name. We are in a slightly different location today, mainly because I wanted to show off this without the green screen interfering. And also, Christmas tree! It is Christmas! So today I'm going to be talking about Batman Arkham Origins. Because, well, if you're watching this at the correct day, you are just 5 days away from Christmas. If you're watching this Christmas Eve, it is very appropriate because that game is set on Christmas Eve. And it is a pretty cool game. I really love it. I have this version. Ooh, look at this. That one. It has the statue and stuff. Although I don't have the statue anymore. My cousin does. Anyway, let's not talk about that. So if you've never played any of the Batman Arkham games, why haven't you? They are fantastic. You know, they are truly the best Batman games that have ever come out. I've actually played them all on day of release as well, which is pretty awesome. Yeah, I just... Batman Arkham Asylum, oh, stole my heart. Probably the best game in the series. It's the first one, but it's the best one, I think. Followed by Arkham City. Pretty much goes in order, really. There's nothing wrong with Arkham Knight. It's a fantastic game. I really do think it's quite amazing. Just I think I got a bit of Batman fatigue when it came to it, which is really bad considering I have a Batman tattoo. So what is the plot of Arkham Origins? Well, the plot of Arkham Origins is Batman is out there at Christmas Eve and Black Mask has put out a hit on his head. Several $1 million and 8 different assassins are coming to get you. And you've got to sort it out. You've got to defend Arkham throughout the entire thing. And it's really cool. It was really interesting to have Black Mask as the main villain. And yeah, you go through the game and you kind of meet these supervillains, including Deathstroke. I want to say Shocker, but it's not his name, is it? I really should have written this one down. Sorry. Like Electro Man or whatever it is. You also have Bane as a main antagonist, and it's an earlier version of Bane. So if you played the Arkham series games, Bane is this huge, massive, hulking mound of muscle. But in this one, he's still a huge, hulking mound of muscle, just not as much. The Venom hasn't taken over him nearly as much as it has done later on in the game. Also, we actually see his face, which is quite interesting, and find out that Bane knows who Bruce Wayne actually is. Batman actually is Bruce Wayne. Yeah, so there's a whole load of things going on there. It's a really cool and interesting story, and it was really nice to see this kind of origin, if you will. When it came to Batman and some of his villains that have first came to Gotham. But then the story does take a little bit of a turn. For any Arkham series fan, everyone knows the true villain of the series, no matter what game it is always the Joker, which disappointed a lot of people. It disappointed myself, actually. I mean, I kind of saw it coming because everyone does. But Joker is in this game. He is the main villain. He was playing as Black Mask. Spoilers. Playing as Black Mask at one point, and honestly, it was just kind of like, oh, really, this guy again? I was really hoping for Roman Sionis to actually be the main and have a really cool kind of interaction with him as much as we could, but it didn't happen. But it's not a problem. Now, when this game did come out, a lot of people complained about this game and complained that it was too much like Arkham City, it was too the same, nothing new was brought into the game, blah 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 blah. And honestly, at the time, I was like, well, if it ain't broke, then fix. Because Arkham City was fantastic, and this game is truly fantastic. Combat is smoothed up so much more. It is so much smoother compared to Arkham City. It really is. Was easy to get into. I really struggled with combos and stuff in these games. With this one, I actually had a lot of easy time. I actually got the combo medals in the side bits, when you go to do the combo challenges. I actually got all of those for Batman, at least anyway, and I was really chuffed with that. I hadn't done that in any other Arkham game. That also leads to one thing that makes this game stupidly easy. The Shocker dude, the electric guy I was telling you about a second ago. Seriously, I'm just gonna flash his name up on the screen. You battle him, and you end up taking his shock gloves, and these shock gloves help you out so much, like a ridiculous amount. It makes combat very easy. I mean, it was already fairly easy because you get used to the, it's a standard combat you see across games these days. but it just makes it so much more easier because you can just punch through shields rather than having to hop over and use your cape and stuff like this. You know, you got all these same gadgets you have in Arkham City as well, but it was really cool. And like, I really enjoy. People complain about this as well. So again, I know I'm rambling. I apologise. But people complain about this as well, and it was the fact that the art style had changed. You know, like Joker looked different, Batman looked different, Bane looked different. You know, all this kind of thing happened. Oh, and people complained about Copperhead being turned into a lady, and honestly, didn't care. She was back. She was a pretty cool villain, to be honest, and a really cool boss fight. Irritating, but cool. But yeah, people complain about the visual style of him. I think it really, really worked. You know, seeing a younger version of Bruce was just nice to see. You know, see like, you know, when compared to Arkham Asylum, it's probably 10 years before, or something like that, 8 years. But it's beforehand, and you got to actually go into the Batcave first time, which was pretty sweet. Yeah, but about that art style, compared to that, I'm rambling again. But there's art style, you know, so the Joker looked quite different, and I think that kind of makes sense, you know, especially because you had Mark Hamill in the first 2 games, and this one was Troy Baker, and you had Kevin Conroy as Batman in the first 2 games, but this one again you had a different actor. I don't know the actor's name, I'm sorry. You know, it just made sense to have it slightly different, but also it doesn't really matter. I mean, like in Batman comics, they change all the time. The styles change, literally, can change within the same story depending on the artist that comes in there. So, you know, to me it didn't matter. I didn't really care. But the fact that Gotham was just in a blanket of snow throughout the entire time, that was so cool. It looked gorgeous. I played it on the 360, and I think the 360 had its really great looking games, and this one was absolutely fantastic. It looked lush, it really did. Some other cool things, as I mentioned, you can finally go into the Batcave properly, the actual Batcave, not like, you know, the under the City Arkham Batcave. You could actually go in the Batcave properly, and you could speak to Alfred in person. You could change your costumes, actually have like a place where you can actually change them. And actually, one of them was that one. That's the very first Batman costume. I thought it was cool. You know, I mean, it's not the very first Batman one, but it's the very first Batman one as we know it properly. The very first one was like a red one. Yeah. I'm not going to get into that. Yeah, so you can actually see the Batcave actually function and how it functions for Bruce a bit, and yeah, the fact that he has these kind of chasms in there that you still have to hop over and grappling hook your way to it, which doesn't seem very practical. I mean, use some bridges, dude. You got enough money to build them, so you know, why not? But yeah, so you got the city itself, which was a slightly different part of Arkham City. So you still had the main Arkham City area. You also had another section added to it, and I believe one section was taken away from you. And that was just nice. It did vary things up. And also, when it comes to exploration in these games, they are fantastic, and the Riddler trophies really help you focus, have a look and kind of dive into the game and find some lore behind it. So that's always fun. But with the Riddler trophies, this game, it was still kind of early into the Riddler trophy type thing. There wasn't too many. There was a lot, because there was always a lot, but it wasn't Arkham Knight levels of this is too much. I mean, when I completed Arkham Knight, I literally spent another 5+ hours just doing Riddler trophies. Like, that's all I did was Riddler trophies, and that was a bit much. But with Arkham Origins, I completed the game. I also did the challenge where you have to play the hardest difficulty setting and only have 3 saves or 1 save or something, whatever it was. I did that, and I didn't die throughout the entire game. That's how easy the combat is in this game. But I played through the games a couple of times beforehand, so I knew the game quite well. I knew what was coming up. I knew the kind of enemies that were going to be in certain areas. So, you know, checks and balances, I suppose. But this game, overall, I mean, I've been talking about wintry games and Christmas games the last few weeks, and it is Christmas in just a few days, and this one just felt like the perfect game to talk about this time of year. I forgot to do it last year, that's my fault, but I didn't do any kind of festive or any kind of like a... Well, basically, I didn't have a Bear's Den last year, so it's fine. I'm just going to stop talking about that. But this game, as a festive game, is truly brilliant. If you've never played Arkham Origins, you can play it backwards compatible on Xbox One and Xbox One Series X. Obviously, it's on the 360. I believe if there is a PS4 version, you can be able to play it on the PS5 as well. And, oh, that's another thing, actually. It was released on the Wii U, but it's not been released on the Switch. In fact, why have none of the Arkham games been released on the Switch? why? It can run them. I mean, if the Wii U can run this game, why can't the Switch run this game? Again, I'm getting into the Switch conversation, but still, I just believe it should be on the Switch. It really should come out. It's one of those games I truly feel it deserves to be on there. But this game, it was very underrated when it first came out. Now, people talk about retrospect, and they really say it's a really great game. I was always on the great game train. I loved it. I loved all the Batman games. And the fact that you have some really cool Predator modes as well, which I believe that Arkham Knight just didn't have enough of. There wasn't enough Predator kind of, there wasn't enough stealth sections within the games to make you feel really like Batman. There was too much Batmobile. This one still has a fairly decent balance of combat and stealth. And then you have the challenge packs as well, which are always great for players, Deathstroke and all the other Bat family as well. And it's just, this game is so worth playing. And I just wanted to talk about it. That was the whole reason of this video. I just wanted to talk about it. Guys, if you've never played this game, I fully suggest you do so, especially if you like Batman. If you can find it in any way to play it, like I say on the 360, Xbox One X, you can do all that. But other than that, you know, it is Christmas in just a few days. So, Merry Christmas. Have yourself a fantastic day. I hope you get all the presents you want. Do us a favour, you know, like, share, subscribe to the video, write, comment, you know, say Merry Christmas to you, say Merry Christmas to me back. That'll be really lovely. But other than that, guys, have a nice day and don't forget to be nice to each other, yeah?